From downtown Indianapolis tonight, one of the WNBA's most dynamic offenses faces off against one of the most smothering defenses as Kaitlyn.
Good evening, basketball fans across the globe. Welcome to a primetime, blockbuster showdown here in the heart of Indianapolis. We are live from a completely sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse for the WNBA 2026 regular season. I'm your play-by-play announcer, and standing by my side in the booth is our resident basketball expert and former pro. Partners, look around this arena. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. There is an unmistakable buzz in the air tonight, and it centers around one monumental storyline. After missing the last game due to a grueling back injury that had fans holding their breath, the phenomenon, the engine of this franchise, Kaitlyn Clark, is officially back in the starting lineup. You can literally feel the floor vibrating, partner. The anticipation for Clark's return has been building all week. People were genuinely worried about her back, but seeing her out here during warm-ups, moving fluidly, cutting sharply, she looks locked in. Her presence completely changes the gravity of the floor for the Indiana Fever. But let's give credit where it's due. The visiting Golden State Valkyries are not here to watch a homecoming party. They are the new powerhouse on the block, sitting pretty at 3-1, and they boast one of the most physical, suffocating defensive schemes in the entire league. This is going to be a chess match played at a lightning pace. A chess match indeed. The Valkyries are coming off an absolute defensive masterclass against the New York Liberty, holding them to just 70 points. Meanwhile, the Fever are looking to build on their momentum after a solid victory over Portland. The starting lineups are being introduced to a roaring crowd. For Golden State, it's Burton, Charles, Stokes, Thornton, and Salon. For Indiana, Mitchell, Billings, Hull, Boston, and the returning Kaitlyn Clark. The officials are ready, the players are taking their positions on the hardwood, and the energy is hitting a fever pitch. The ball is up, and we are officially underway. Aliyah Boston wins the tip, leaping high to swat it back. It's tracked down beautifully by Kaitlyn Clark. Clark immediately maps out the floor, bringing it up the right side. The crowd is already on their feet. Clark drives left, utilizes a subtle hesitation move to completely freeze Veronica Burton, and fires a laser bounce pass inside to a cutting Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell takes it in stride, goes up for the driving finger roll layup, and it drops. The Indiana Fever strike first, leading 2-0. That is textbook offense right out of the gate. Look at how much attention Clark commands the second she moves toward the paint. The defense collapsed, and she instantly found Mitchell for the easy deuce. Great spatial awareness. Valkyries look to respond quickly. Burton brings it across the timeline. She resets, calls for a screen from Kia Stokes. Mitchell fights over the top of the screen. Burton tries to thread a dangerous needle pass to Kaitlyn Chen on the wing, but wait, Monique Billings reads it perfectly. Steal. Billings intercepts, takes 2 hard dribbles, and ships it right back to Clark in transition. Clark pushes the pace, crosses the half-court line. The defense is backpedaling. She's 29 feet out. Surely she won't pull up this early? She does. She fires from the logo. And it's cash. Kaitlyn Clark cold-blooded from distance. The arena erupts, and just like that, it's a 7-0 run for the Fever.
Unbelievable. That is exactly what makes her a generational talent. The defense did nothing wrong there. They dropped back to protect the paint, which is standard transition defense. But when you have a player who treats the half-court logo like a comfortable mid-range jumper, ordinary defensive rules simply fly out the window. Coach had no choice but to burn an early timeout to calm his squad down. Welcome back after that quick timeout. Valkyries reset their offense. Burton passes to Thornton on the block. Thornton backs down Hull, spins inside, and hits a tough, contested 12-foot fadeaway jumper. Beautiful counterpunch by Golden State to get on the board, trailing 7-2. The teams trade blows for the remainder of the first quarter. Kaitlyn Chen enters the game off the bench for the Valkyries and immediately makes an impact, hitting a beautiful baseline floater right before the buzzer. At the end of the first 10 minutes, the score stands: Indiana Fever 19, Golden State Valkyries 18. A razor-thin 1-point lead for the home team. Kaitlyn Clark is seen resting on the bench with a heating pad on her lower back. On the court, the Valkyries bench is executing rapid passing. As we open up the second quarter, Kaitlyn Clark is taking a scheduled rest on the bench, and Golden State's second unit is sensing blood in the water. Tiffany Hayes is handling the rock now for the Valkyries. She drives hard right against Lexi Hull, embraces the physical contact, finishes the tough driving layup, and draws the foul. An opportunity for a three-point play here for the veteran.
This is where the depth of Golden State becomes so incredibly dangerous. With Clark off the floor, Indiana's offensive rhythm has completely stalled out. They've turned the ball over twice in the last 3 possessions, leading directly to fast break opportunities for the Valkyries. Hayes is playing with extreme physicality, forcing the refs to blow the whistle.
Hayes steps up to the charity stripe and knocks it down, completing the N1. Golden State takes their first lead of the night, 21-19. Indiana tries to respond through Aliyah Boston in the post, but Kia Stokes and Kayla Thornton are double-teaming her relentlessly. Boston is stripped, another turnover. Kaitlyn Chen scoops it up, runs the floor, and passes it out to Kalia Charles on the perimeter. Charles catches, shoots the corner 3. Bang! It's an 11-2 run for the visiting team. The home crowd is dead silent as the Valkyries stretch their lead to 29-21.
Indiana needs to settle down. They are playing completely reactive basketball right now, forcing low-percentage isolation plays. Without Clark directing traffic, they look lost against this aggressive full-court press from Golden State.
Clark checks back into the game to a standing ovation. She immediately settles the ship, finding Mitchell for a mid-range pull-up to stop the bleeding. But the Valkyries simply cannot miss in this quarter. Janelle Salon knocks down a deep wing 3, and Chen scores another tough floater over Boston. The halftime buzzer sounds, and the Valkyries have completely flipped the script. At the break, it's Golden State 44, Indiana Fever 37. The newcomers are silencing Indianapolis.
Welcome back to our broadcast. If you are just joining us, the Indiana Fever find themselves trailing by 7 points after a dominant second quarter display by the Golden State Valkyries. But as we know, no lead is safe in this league, especially when you have the dynamic duo of Clark and Boston waiting in the wings.
Exactly. Adjustments are made in the locker room, and I expect Indiana to play inside out. They need to establish Aliyah Boston early in this half to loosen up that exterior perimeter defense.
And that is precisely what they do. Clark passes into the low post to Boston. Boston establishes her ground, drops her shoulder against Stokes, spins toward the baseline, and drops a delicate hook shot into the net. Beautiful footwork by the former Rookie of the Year. 44-39. Golden State tries to answer through Burton, but her shot is blocked by Billings. Mitchell secures the defensive rebound, kicks it up to Clark ahead of the pack. Clark slows it down at the top of the key, calls for a screen from Boston. The defense switches, big mistake. Clark exploits the mismatch, performs a nasty step-back move, and fires a towering three-pointer. She nets it. Oh my, tied game at 44. Gainbridge Fieldhouse is absolutely rocking right now.
The pick-and-roll execution right there was flawless. When Golden State switched a forward onto Clark, she knew exactly what to do. The step back created 3 feet of separation, and that's all she needs. The chemistry between Clark and Boston right now is an absolute joy to watch.
It is pure poetry in motion. On the next 3 possessions, it's the exact same script. Clark drives, draws the double team, and dispatches no-look passes straight into the breadbasket of Aliyah Boston for consecutive layups. Indiana goes on a ferocious 29-17 run in this quarter alone. As the third quarter draws to a close, the Fever have stormed back to reclaim the lead. Score: Indiana 66, Golden State 61.
Absolute ice in her veins. But watch the defensive end now. Burton misses a desperation 3 for Golden State. Aliyah Boston rises above the crowd and pulls down the defensive rebound. Partner, that is her 16th rebound of the night to go along with 20 points. With that single board, she officially secures her 42nd on-screen graphics showing final player stats, upcoming game schedules, and end screen subscription buttons over slow motion clips of the game.